All right, guys. So we're back from the break in the Zoom. So let us move on to where we were. So when we started off with this, we would have found AC. So for AC, we simply multiply the number in front, the x squared, times the last number in the expression. So AC is actually equal to 2 times 5 equals to 10. And so what we want is 2 factors of 10, 2 numbers that multiply to give you 10. When you add them, you get -7. Now, we from the previous class, I said to you that we can look at these signs to help us to determine the signs of the 2 factors. So we say that if the last term is a positive term, we know that the 2 factors that we are looking for can be either 2 negatives or 2 positive. Now, to tell what they are in terms of the sign, whether 2 negatives or 2 positive, we simply look at the middle term. So if the middle term is negative, the 2 signs of the factor is going to be negative. So with that said, we would now choose -2, because we notice that -2 can multiply by -5 to give you a +10. So we would choose -2x and -5x. We use these to replace the -7x in the expression. So we would have 2x squared minus 2x minus 5x (2x minus 5x), then we put back plus 5. Now we factorize the first pair. Common factor would be 2x. So we say 2x into 2x squared will just simply give you x. And 2x into itself, negative into -2x, give you a -1. And now common factor here would be 5. So we choose -5. And -5 into -5x will just give you, a second, guys. So -5 into -5x will simply, -5 cancel leaving x. -5 into +5 will give you -1. Now the common factor here would be the bracketed expression. So we pull out that as our common factor. That would be just x minus 1. Now we factorize each term. Sorry, we divide each term by the x minus 1. So the x minus 1 would cancel with this x minus 1 here. And so all that would remain is just this 2x. So we're going to put that 2x in this bracket here. And then now we do the same for this term. We divide it by x minus 1. This will cancel out, leaving just a -5. So we are going to put -5 in this bracket here. And so our factors then will be x minus 1 times 2x minus 5, all right? So when we factorize this expression completely, we will get x minus 1 times 2x minus 5. Now, a way to check your factorization to see if it is really correct, you could just simply multiply out the bracket, expand the bracket, because we would have done expansion, binomial expansion. So we multiply x times 2x, we would get 2x squared. And then now we say x times -5 give us -5x. And then now we use -1 times 2x give you -2x. And then now we have -1 times -5, negative times negative give you +5. Now we simplify the middle by adding these like terms. They are both negative, so we add them negatively. So we get 2x squared minus 7x plus 5. Right? And that's what we're supposed to get because that's what we factorize in the first place. All right. So whenever if you're really in doubt of your answer and you want to check it, you could always do that. All right. Let me see the answer, those who are following so far and understand how we get to the answer. All right. All right. So with that said, now we just need to practice some more so that we can have it cemented. So who will walk us through now question 2? Let me ask Miss Cox. Walk us through question 2 for this.
Sir, me never finish.
You never finished question 2?
No, sir, cause me just understand.
All right. Miss Alicia, you want to walk us through question 2?
No, sir.
All right. And let me see who else would be willing to walk us through question 2. Miss Green, you would like to try?
Sir, no, sir.
All right. Miss Waysome, can you help us out?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, Miss Waysome.
We're at number 2, right?
Yes.
So first we find the AC, sir, which would be 2 times 15.
And that will give us what?
30, sir.
All right.
So the factors we're looking for would be 10 and 3, sir. When multiplied, we get back 30, and when added, we get positive 13x.
All right. So we see that we break 30 into 3, so those are 2 factors of 30.
10 and 3, yes, sir.
Right. And when we add them, we see that we get 13.
X, yes, sir.
All
For the
right.
Kirky.
All right. So the key thing here is if you look at the sign of the last term, you know, you have a positive value.
Yes, sir.
That tells you that the 2 factors can either be 2 positive or 2 negative.
Or negative. Yes,
right?
sir.
in this case, when we look at the middle term, positive, so that indicate that the two factors are positive. In the previous question, the last term is positive. It tells you the same thing, either two positive or two negative. But when we look at the middle term indicate that we have two negatives. So the sign of the middle term will indicate what the sign of the ought to be.
Wait.
Is that clear to everyone?
Sir, can you repeat, please?
So I was saying, in a similar way, when we look at the last term and the positive for any of the expression, that is indicating to us that either the two terms that we are looking for, the two factors that we are looking for, they're either both positive or both negative. To determine what they both are, we look at the sign of the middle term. So if the sign of the middle term is negative, it means that the two factors you're looking for will be both negative. If the sign of the middle term is positive, two factors will be both positive. So first you check the last term. That tell you whether or not you're going to have two positive or two negative. Then you check the middle term, the sign it ought to be. All right? Everybody's understanding. You see your hand if you understand that clearly.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'm kind of understanding it better, so but kind of confused because when I learned it at school, it was a total different thing. But this way is much easier, sir. Last class I didn't understand because this was not why I learned it.
Oh. You will get different perspective from different teachers. Sometimes the explanation might be different because of how the teacher may teach you, because you have two ways of teaching math. You can teach it conceptually or you can teach it procedurally. I teach it both ways, all right?
Okay, sir.
All right, so if you're understanding, then that would be a good thing. All right, Ms. Raysom, you want to continue?
Sure, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Right, sir. So after we find these factors, we're gonna use these factors to substitute 13x. So we'd have 2x squared.
All right.
Plus.
Have 2x squared.
Plus 10x.
All right.
Plus.
So hold on a second. So note, student, that the two factors that we found, they are replaced in the middle term. So it means that we are going to write them with x beside them, then add them, or put a plus sign between them. All right. We have 10x.
Yes, sir.
Plus 3x.
So put the plus sign between the 10x and the 2x squared.
Oh, sorry. All right, so we have 10x plus 3x.
Plus 3x, sir. Plus 15.
Plus 15.
I'm on class.
Right. All right, so go ahead now, Ms. Wilson.
So we're going to group them now, sir. So working with 2x squared plus 10x. The HCF would have been 2x. 2x into 2x squared leaves us with x.
All right,
and
so we have x in this bracket.
Yes, sir. And 2x into 10x would leave us with 5, positive 5.
Okay.
Yes, sir. All right. 3x plus 15. HCF would have been 3, positive 3. 3 into 3x goes x. And 3 into 15 goes 5, positive 5. X plus 5, no, sir, would have been the HCF for this one, so we say X plus 5 means 2x plus 5 leaves us with 2x for the new bracket. And then x plus 5 into 3, x plus 5 would leave us with 3, positive 3. So you get x plus 5 and 3x plus 5 in one.
All right, let me see the answer those who got the second one correct. All right, very good, guys. All right, we still need to practice because this can be a little bit, if you don't practice this one, these, you will find that it will take you a longer time to actually come up with the right factors, with the right signs. So when you practice it more, you will get the hang of it. All right, so I would like for Ms. Clark, can you do the next one for us?
I'm going to try, sir.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so first I'm going to find the AC, which is 3 times negative 2. And that will equal to negative 6, sir. All right, so 2 factors of negative 6 that will give it back x, sir, is positive 3 and negative 2.
All right, so stick up in there for me, Miss Clark. So let me just shine some light on this now. All right, so what we notice about the sign of the last term for this expression. So the sign of the last term here is 2. The sign of that is negative. Now, when the last term has a negative sign, that indicates that the two factors you're going to be looking for, the sign of the two factors, one will be positive and one will be negative. Now, just to emphasize, if the last term is positive, it tells you that the two factors are going to either be 2 positive or 2 negative. However, if the last term is negative, it tells you one of the factors going to be positive, one going to be negative. Now, which one is positive and which one is negative? You look at the sign of the middle term. So if you look at the sign of the middle term and it is positive, the larger number always take the same sign as the middle term. So the larger number here is 3. So we give the positive sign to the 3 and the other one would be negative. All right, so continue, Miss Clark.
Okay, sir. So what I was saying now, the 2 factors that will give you back x are, one is positive 3 and negative 2.
Okay. All right, so we're going to just simply replace the middle term with these 2 factors. And that will give now
3x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 2.
sorry. Put the wrong number, minus 2.
Yes, sir.
All right, continue.
All right, so you're going to pull out the HCF, which is 3x. So 3x into 3x squared gives you x. And 3x into 3x, it goes 1. And so the next HCF is -2. So -2 into 2x into -2x give you x, sir. And -2 into -2 give you a +1. And so the HCF for that group is x plus 1. Next bracket is 3x minus 2.
All right. Could you just indicate how you get the 3x minus 2?
Sir, what I normally do is after you pull out the HCF, sir, the remaining 3x and -2, I just put them in a second bracket.
All right, so pretty much so. So if you can see it that way, you can just pull out one of the bracketed expression, and then what is outside, you put those into the other brackets. All right, so I hope you guys are seeing that. All right, let me see the hands of those who actually got this, and let me see the hands of those who are a little bit more comfortable in what we are doing. Ms. Shea, are you more comfortable with this now?
Yes, sir, kind of.
All right. Would you like to try question? You want to try question 4?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me do question 4 for you guys. All right. So question 4. All right. So just in a similar way, finding AC would give us 3 times -28. All right, 3 times -28. Now we may be tempted to go through the process of multiplying out these numbers, but you need not do that, because by multiplying out the numbers, you're going to get a much bigger number that will make it a little bit more difficult for you to find the 2 factors. So what I'm going to show you here is a little technique that you can use to kind of find the 2 factors. What you do, the 2 factors that you already have that you're multiplying, you can break each of those into 2 other factors. So the 3, you can break it up into 3 times 1. And the 28, you can break that up into 2 other factors. So you can break that up into probably 2 times what? 14. So 2 times 14. Now what you want to do now is, it's a little trial and error thing that you're going to do, but you want to recombine factors from the 3 with factors from the 28. So you can recombine, for instance, you can recombine this 3 times this 2, give you 6. And then now you could combine the 1 times 14, that give you 14. So you know that 14 times 6 would also give you the 2 factors that you would be looking for. So what you do now, check to see the sign of the last term. It is negative. So it means that one of these numbers going to be negative and one going to be positive. But the larger one going to take the sign of the middle term. So if the larger one is negative, so if the middle term is negative, the larger one is negative, and the other one is positive. When you add -14 with +6, you see that you will get -8. So that would now tell you the two factors that you're looking for. So now you can replace the middle term, -8, with positive 6x. So we just rewrite the 3x squared plus 6x minus 14x minus 28. And then now we factorize by grouping. For this pair, we would have common factor 3x. So we have 3x into 3x squared leave with x, and 3x into 6x will just give you positive 2. Now for this side, we take -14 to be our HCF. And -14 into -14x give you positive x. -14 into -28 will give you positive 2. And so now these bracketed expressions are common, so we pull out one of them. So x plus 2. And then now we can take what is outside the brackets to put in the other brackets. So we have 3x minus 14. And so those would be the two factors. Let me see the hands of those who actually understand what I did just now.
Sir, we don't understand we don't fully understand that part, sir, with the factors, the first part.
All right, so the recombining of the factors.
Yes, sir.
All right, so what we did really is to look at these, the tree, and break it down into two numbers that multiply to give you 3, right? Which is pretty much 3 and 1. You follow? And find two numbers that multiply to give you 28. You can use 2 and 14. Now, 2 and 14 might not be the, well, so far you could have 4 times 7. But as I said, we are just doing a little trial and error. So you try 3 and 1, then 2 and 14. Now, once you have the two factors, what we did here was to now recombine from the two set of factors that we would have gotten here. We got from the 3, we got 3 and 1. From the 28, we got 2 and 14. So what we want to do now is take one of the factors from the 3 and multiply by one of the factors from the 28. So I choose 2 times 3. I could have easily well try 3 times 14, but when I look at that, that's going to give us a very large number. So I try 3 times 2. So this part is pretty much a trial. So you keep trying it until you come up with a combination that works. So I tried first 3 times 2. So we know that 3 times 2 is going to give you 6. Then now, then after you use the 3 times this 2, you have to use now the 1 times the 14. Right? You're not going to use the 1 times 2 now. You're going to use, if you use 3 with 2, then the 1 has to be going with the 14. And so 1 times 14 gives you 14. But we know that these two factors, 6 times 14, will be the same as 3 times 28. So it means that these two numbers are pretty much two factors of the product of 3 and 28. And so we can also use these now as factors of that product. But when we look at with this last term, we see that it's a negative. And based on the rule, if the last term is negative, we know that the two numbers that we're looking for, the two numbers, one going to be positive and one going to be negative. Now, we know that the larger of the two going to take the same sign as the middle term. So the middle term is negative, so the 14 going to be negative. Hence, the 6 has to be positive. When you add positive 6 plus negative 14, we see that we get negative 8. So those are the two factors that we're going to use, because when we add them, we get the same as the coefficients here. Follow? Follow, miss?
Yes, sir.
Right. And so that's why we opted to use 6 and 14. But I may have got it in one trial, but if you try it and it doesn't work for the numbers that you get, then you retry it again. So instead of breaking up the 2 and 8, the 28 into 2 and 14, you could try 4 and 7 and do the same process again. You follow?
Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. All right. Everybody else, show me your hands if you are clear on what we have just discussed. All right. So now let me see the hands of those now who have completed question 5, 6, and 7. All right. Let me see, apart from Miss Wasom and Miss Clark, let me see the hands of those who have completed question 5 and would like to walk me through question 5. Someone? Go ahead, Miss Trivia.
I'm not sure if it is correct, you know, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah, trying is good. They say
Okay,
nothing beats a trial but a fail. And if you fail, you just try again. That's how it is. That's how maths works. Go ahead.
okay, so I have 2 times negative 3 equal to negative 6. So I'm using 1 and negative 6.
All right, so using positive 1
And negative 6.
6. All right. Why you opted to use those signs?
Because B is negative and it is said that the larger multiple would be negative.
All right. So you know that one going to be negative and one going to be positive.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I'm saying, how do we arrive that one of the factors is positive and one negative?
Because C is negative.
Correct. Antinomies.
Okay, so I have 2x squared plus 1x
All right, so we, instead of saying 1x, we're just going to say x, all right?
okay, so
Continue.
minus 6x minus 3.
Continue, miss.
Okay, so x is common among each.
Working on you.
So
Continue.
2x into 2x squared, you're going to be left with 2x plus x into x go 1 time, close bracket, negative 3 into negative 6x goes 2x, negative 3 into negative 3 goes 1 time.
And
So you will have 2x plus 1 in the first bracket. Because 2x plus 1 into 2x plus 1, would you be left with the x over the other side
okay,
and x minus 3 on the other side.
all right. Thanks much. Very good, Miss Trivia.
Yes, sir.
We would like to go for question 6. Miss Green, are you ready now? Miss Green?
Not yet, sir.
Miss Shea? Miss Cox?
No, sir.
Miss Cavera?
No, sir.
Guys, you have to try now. Sometimes if you don't jump off in the water, you won't swim. You have to try. Mr. Javon? Not hearing anything from Mr. Javon. Miss Genovia? Are you there, Mr. Genovia? People are shying away. Miss Williams? Miss Williams?
Sir. Yes, sir.
You want to go ahead for question 6?
Sir, I don't think I did justice to it, sir. I tried, but I don't think it is correct.
All right. So let me go for this one. All right, so AC is actually 10 times negative 15. Now, of course, that would give you negative 150. But rather than multiplying it out to get that large number, which you'll have to break down into smaller factors, you could take the factors that you're multiplying and break those factors into smaller factors. So the 10 can be broken down into 2 times 5. All right, so we see that 2, 5 will give you 10. And then 15 can be broken down